Welcome to Eureka Epoch, bringing Urantia Book insights to life through storytelling, visuals, and inspired exploration. Subscribe for more. And so it was, in the passing days of their great journey westward, the travelers, Jesus of Nazareth, Ganid the youth, and Gonod the noble father, set foot upon the island of Crete, not to preach, not to conquer, but to walk, to climb the jagged spines of ancient hills, to play beneath the open firmament, to breathe in the wild air of the earth, unburdened. It was a Sabbath of the soul, divinely chosen. Crete, in that age, was a land despised. Its people were considered low, coarse, dishonest. The tongues of surrounding nations spat the name Cretan as if it were a curse. Yet he, the concealed architect of worlds, did not see them as beasts or burdens. He saw them as brothers, and through subtle conversation, through unseen acts of gentleness and wisdom, he raised many among them to higher realms of thought and living. Seeds were sown, not of doctrine, but of destiny. Thus was the island prepared for the coming thunder of truth, when the gospel would march from Jerusalem like fire across the sea. He loved them deeply, even as later words from Paul would cast them in shadow. The Son of Man had already illuminated their worth. Upon the mountainside, alone beneath the heavens, Jesus spoke with Gonod at length of things eternal. It was their first deep communion on the matter of religion, and Gonod, astonished by the vastness and purity of the truth laid before him, declared, "No wonder the boy believes everything you tell him, but I never knew they had such a religion even in Jerusalem, much less in Damascus." Here, for the first time, the elder proposed a mighty path, that Jesus return with them to India, to teach, to awaken, to kindle the flame in a land ancient and seeking. Ganid's heart leapt with hope, but the master, bound by forces unspoken, by purpose unseen, remained silent, for his hour had not yet come. On another day, young Ganid, ever bold in spirit, confronted the quiet grandeur of his teacher. He asked, "Why have you not devoted yourself to the work of a public teacher?" And Jesus, timeless in patience, answered as one who speaks not merely to the present, but to the unfolding arc of all ages. "My son, everything must await the coming of its time. You are born into the world, but no amount of anxiety and no manifestation of impatience will help you to grow up. You must in all such matters wait upon time. Time alone will ripen the green fruit upon the tree. Season follows season, and sundown follows sunrise only with the passing of time. I am now on the way to Rome with you and your father, and that is sufficient for today. My tomorrow is wholly in the hands of my Father in heaven." And then he revealed to him the saga of Moses, the great prophet who waited 40 years in the wilderness, not in exile, but in preparation. Thus was the way of all true power, not to rush, but to be forged. But there came an event in Fair Havens that would mark Ganid forever. On the dusty road, a slave girl cried out, attacked by a drunken brute, a man sunken into madness. Without pause, Jesus surged forth, interposing himself between predator and prey. His right arm, iron-willed and born of spirit and sinew, held the raving man at bay, while the girl clung to him in trembling safety. The beast struck at air, raging against the calm force of righteousness, and Jesus stood, immovable, unflinching, until the fury burned itself out. Ganid moved to join the fray, fire in his soul, but his father restrained him. There was no need. Mercy had already triumphed. Though they could not speak the girl's tongue, their actions transcended language. She wept, and they walked her home. This perhaps was the closest Jesus ever came to physical conflict in his mortal life. And yet, even in this, his restraint was the sharper blade. Later, Ganid could not contain his fury. "Why," he asked, "did you not strike him? Should he not suffer at least as many blows as he gave?" Jesus, with divine patience, explained a higher law, one not of retribution, but of redemption. Ganid struggled to accept it, but the memory remained. And in that moment, the seed was sown in him, a seed that would one day move against the cruel caste chains of his own homeland. Thus ended their time in Crete, not with fanfare, not with miracles, but with silent triumph. For in that island's soil had been planted truths that would bear fruit across centuries, nurtured not by power, but by presence. And the Son of Man, clothed in humility, yet veiled in cosmic authority, continued ever forward, toward Rome, toward destiny, toward the cross.